Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rounding the Bases podcast. I'm Coach Stoones, along with Coach Porter and Coach Cart. Lots of news, lots of baseball, softball in the news. Zach, why don't you kick it off? This 5 year thing. That's not a 5 year thing, but it is a 5 year thing if you do this and not this. And explain a little bit about it so the people watching this can get an idea how that's going to work for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like from the legislative perspective on the NCAA, the 5 for 5 is definitely in play. However, it sounds like on Friday, a judge made a judgment that stated that the 2026 graduates can return to their former institution and play another year if they've only played 4 years and they're still eligible. I do know that there were bits and pieces of clarifying information that have crept out on social media today. One of those being the fact that your eligibility has to, be based on age. And so, if you're still within that age threshold and your eligibility started, I'm pretty sure it's the 19 years old or the academic year around that 19th birthday. Then, as long as you're eligible from that perspective, then you would have the ability to go back to your institution that you just graduated from. Now, I know that presents a multitude of challenges. I know from the baseball side, we have roster limitations and different things like that. But, Coach and I were having another conversation earlier today. How would you not take, conference player of the year, someone like that didn't get drafted, that is eligible to return to your team? Those coaches are looking to win. And so it also presents a challenge for, those individuals, those baseball and softball players that are getting ready to step on campus here within, 2 or 3 weeks. And is their roster spot going to be impacted by something like that? I think those are all really immediate conversations that people have to have and they have to understand and really, plan for at this point. So that's added a little bit of a wrinkle. And as we sit here on August 2nd, the day after 2028s can officially be offered, I think that it makes a little bit of the traffic a little bit more tamped down, a little bit more quiet on the offering end. So I don't know. That's what I'm observing from our side and listening to a couple folks and a couple individuals. So I know Coach and I have talked about it a couple times, and it seems to be a pretty hot topic. If you go anywhere on Twitter or X or Facebook or Instagram, there's all kinds of talking heads talking about these different angles. So it's gonna be interesting.
It's going to be an interesting fall ball season for baseball and softball because your roster number, I believe, is after when you determine it, correct? For spring.
Yes, right. Coach Porter, is that right? Is that roster number set after the fall?
Yeah, they'll typically set it. We would have to look, but it's changed. But you typically have a date where you have to set it. Remember, we're just talking about Division One.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Listen, correct. Division Twos have already been able to be offered. Division Twos, there's no roster limit. It's still 9 scholarships. So, and NAI is still the same. JUCO is still the same. D3 is still the same. So, I think that's really important to note that within this mess, and it is a mess, baseball as we know it, top to bottom, is an absolute cesspool mess right now. And we need to get our stuff figured out at all levels. And we need to figure it out from Major League Baseball all the way down to 3U tryouts this week. It's ridiculous, people. We need to figure this out. We need to figure it out. All of us. I have nothing, you know what I mean? And this is more of a reason why you need somebody advocating for you and help you test the waters that's actually been in the game. actually been in the game. Okay. Actually evaluated, know what coaches are looking for. All right. So there's a couple schools of thought here. What am I going to do? I want to go back. Now what's a coach going to do? Right?
Do
Well,
I take
so
a high
you've got a
school
moral,
kid or
you've got a moral piece here.
Oh yeah.
And you've got a contractual, we need to win piece. I would assume that a lot of ADs and school presidents and board of directors will get involved, and institutions will probably come up with policies regarding this, because there is a customer service piece here. You don't want a black eye in your program or your institution. Now, you also have to remember that some of these coaches have been burnt so badly in the portal that they don't care, because you can turn around and leave. So guess what? Here we go. Or they over roster and cut down when they have to. So like there's going to be, but that's what's been created by whoever's made these decisions. And what's happening is we're allowing kids to run free. We're allowing coaches to do whatever. Like, it's ridiculous. We need to stop. Someone's got to put their foot down. So you need somebody that's been through this, at least been through the, nobody's been through this, but you need somebody that's been out there and has college contacts and can help you. You really do. Because this is a mess.
And you see it on Twitter. I mean, there was a Sunbelt
Everywhere.
baseball team just got their top pitcher for another year. He got granted the 5th year. Well, what does that mean for the kid they might have brought in? Are you going to take that top pitcher that they had? Or are you going to take the high school kid who was a good pitcher, has yet proven himself at that level? I mean, it's created a cluster at this point.
I mean, at the Division I level, you're paid to win.
Correct.
I mean, like, you're paid to win. So if you know that guy can come back and win, I mean, help you win.
But with that being said, on August 2nd, it's wrong. You got to figure it out. Maybe the NCAA is going to have to come in and help the roster limit, because all you're doing is you're forcing guys to be transactional.
And there are no red shirts. No red shirts.
And there doesn't need to be with 5 years.
Right.
There's no red shirts.
Listen,
right?
and everybody needs to know that they were talking about 5 years of eligibility in 2000 and 2001 when I was completing my eligibility. This isn't like some new concept. They're trying to do it to stop the madness of all this stuff, because they're at the point of no return. It's out of control. All of it's out of control.
And it's the madness they created. Is the rule a bad rule? I don't know if the rule is bad.
It's a great rule. It's a great rule.
Is the timing bad? Absolutely. The timing is bad. You know, why don't we organize these rule changes prior to seasons and put it in then? And
so think about football.
Yeah. Well, people
I mean,
know.
these guys are on campus already.
Correct.
But a lot of these guys, though, have been trying to get their eligibility done. So what people don't know is all these kids have tried to appeal to the NCAA, and the NCAA said no, and that's why they've gone to the courts.
Yeah.
Okay? So you got to realize that. So this isn't like these guys have been trying. Right. So like we now live in an era where guys have agents, guys have lawyers involved with their families. This is so different. So, but the NCAA's put themselves in this position, right? Right. I mean, listen, it's out of control.
They need to.
It's hurting kids. It's hurting kids.
I think if the legislation right now in Congress passes, I think it gives them that antitrust protection to where they can truly legislate the enterprise. Right now, they can't legislate the enterprise because they don't have antitrust protection, which allows any mediation or anything from a legality standpoint to go to the courts. If the legislation goes through,
we're talking about the amateur level of baseball.
Well, it's not amateur anymore.
It's sports.
But it's not.
We're talking about that's my point. That's my point. My point is there is none.
Amateur athletics is gone.
It's absurd.
So which takes you to the next step. I just read an article. Stanford is looking to unionize one of their one of their teams, the football team, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question on that. Do you get unemployment if you're cut from a team at that point?
Yeah, technically you would. If you would have to be a W-2 employee for the
A
state.
W-2, exactly. If you unionize, you got to be an employee. If you're an employee and get let go,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it just opens. It's it's funny. You still see a few people out there talking about student athletes, and I think it's just athletes and then there's students. That's what it kind of turned into. I think it's great when you see schools like your military academies, Navy, Army, Air Force. Those guys, you look at the degrees; they're getting biomechanics, this and this and that.
Yeah.
True form, amateur athletics. There you go. Serve your country when you're done, and away you go. This has really messed it up.
One of the clarifications today was that if you were going back, if you were a 2026 graduate and you were going to go back to your institution, that you had to stay with that institution. If they're a 2026 graduate, wouldn't the graduate rule apply to them to where they could be a grad and have the free ability to move? I mean, it's just this is such a bad weird. I mean, it should increase.
This isn't coming from the NCAA though. It's coming from a judge.
Right.
So this isn't like so the judge is making decisions for a governing body that has a manual that's 200 pages. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And the only reason it's gotten to a judge is because the NCAA's already told him no. That's what people have to realize.
Well, here's my question now. You can go back to your institution for a fifth year. That's what it is right now.
Yeah.
What if your institution isn't participating in that and says, no, we aren't gonna do that? Now, you get another judge to go after your university, or open it up so you can go play somewhere else because you have that fifth year eligible now.
I mean, right? I mean, are you an at-will employee?
That's exactly right.
Because I know that one of our larger Division I institutions that we're very familiar with, that may have just played in the College World Series, they have an LLC set up that actually is the how do I say this, is the revenue arm to pay the student athletes. So that entity is to protect this state institution, because technically, if you are paid through a state institution, you can do a public disclosure and request how much they're making. So the reason they set that entity up is so that it would protect how much we're paying our running back, or so on and so forth. So can you turn around and sue that entity, right? I mean, that I think that's where you're going, Tom, is like, can you sue that? We're gonna need to bring on a legal expert. Like, we're
what's the contract say
on the podcast?
I mean? It's
your free agent signing.
That's why guys are leaving. That's why coaches are leaving college sports.
Yeah.
That's why all these guys are going to minor league baseball. That's why these guys are trying to get into the NFL. I read an article where they said there is a they polled Division I college coaches in football and said, if you had the choice to go be a head coach at a Texas high school football school or stay in your current position, like 5 of the 10 coaches said, I would rather be a high school football coach because of all this. There's no downtime. I mean, it's 24/7, 365. You've given these kids so many decisions. You can throw all these culture guys, and sitting around in a circle singing Kumbaya and talking about the Energy Bus, which is a great book.
Right.
But when you're bringing in 75 to 80% of your team that's brand new every year. How do you build a culture? It's a business. You're
Well, there's no
running a
more,
business.
there's
You're an
no more.
employee. You're an employee. You show up
So
and
is
you
the
do your
coach.
job.
So
You
is
know
the
what I mean?
coach.
The days of the dynasties.
But the coach is there.
Yeah.
Because you could be a
The
one and
coach is
done.
there.
Yeah, the dynasties that you used to see teams win 3 and 4 in a row. You know, I'm going to go back to, you know, think about maybe not so much baseball, but the Duke basketballs and this team and this team. It's just, how do you plan for that anymore? Because it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, my point is, and I understand, you know, Coach Carp's talking about he's an employee, but my point is, you can't develop any type of cohesion with your roster.
Correct.
So all that culture building, like all that stuff's out the window. You don't
It's a
have
high
kids
ramp.
that are there for four years anymore.
Yeah, it's a quick
Heck,
ramp.
these guys have more people with that stay longer with NFL teams. You're talking these coaches stand up there. We recruited 80 new players this year. 80? There's no leadership book that's going to help you develop a culture. You're going to have to treat them like they're walking in the door every day as an NFL employee, saying you do your job, you play right, you be on time, you follow all the employee regulations, or you're gone.
Right.
It's it is so transactional. It goes against every single thing about amateur athletics at that level. Now it's not. Now you still have the
But they wanted
roster
to be paid.
changes.
They wanted to be paid.
Who cares? I mean,
Right?
listen, they're owed money because the name. I get it, their likeness, but like at the end of the day, though, it goes against everything it's about. Now at the lower levels, you want to go to the purest level of the game.
Yeah.
D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO. Now you still have all the transferring, but shoot, I mean, it's ridiculous. You have players on teams that make substantially more money than the coaches, the assistant coaches that are coaching them.
Oh, no doubt.
And
There's no doubt.
And a free education and meals.
And living.
It's gross.
And development.
Yeah.
And PT and healthcare. And I mean, like, just keep going down the line.
It's gross.
See,
I mean,
Coach Porter made a great point. That's why you need a group like us more than ever now, because players are out there, and you'll even see it on X. You can reach my manager at.
Yep.
They'll leave his number. That manager isn't working for free.
Right.
You're going to pay more to have that manager work for you than you'll pay to have us work for you, and we'll get more for you out of your name out there. You know, and I think that's the other issue. You know, it's like you don't want to spend the money, but you're forced to do it now. Between
well,
you go into your freshman. Think about this for a second, guys. Freshman year, baseball, softball, doesn't matter. Okay, now between your freshman year and your senior year of high school, how much does a family spend? Travel ball, getting a manager, recruiting time, hotels, travel, whatever. What do you think? What do you think an average family spends? Because the only reason I say that
25K.
it's probably darn close to that between travel. You know, I see it mostly with you know, the travel, the softball, and the baseball on X. 1 week they're playing in Colorado for this tournament, then they're going to Miami. Well, you're not driving those distances; you're flying.
Right.
And your parents are going to go, or whoever. There's a hotel expense. Then there's the fee to play that sport. And then there's a, you know, so it becomes a vicious cycle that you have to rely on somebody to help you because you've just laid out a ton of money.
Especially when a lot of these places, the travel ball, there's no coaches in the stands.
No.
That's the problem. What's the point? Then the local stuff needs it, but what's the point? What's the
And that
point?
goes
I'm
back-
going to drive and play 5-hour, 45-minute games with no coaches in the stands.
And that's the point.
Why
that
not? So that'll change too if coaches aren't in the stands. Eventually, that'll start changing.
And we
More
talked
local
about
stuff,
that.
I guess. I don't know. Having more local stuff to people. I don't know what the answer is, but if coaches aren't in the stands, throw the exposure out the window. What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they have been. Like, I don't like. I mean, yeah, I've coached summer ball, and unless they're targeting a high level leverage arm, they're not. They show up for a few higher level tournaments, but I mean, unless you have someone like us
Correct.
that is calling that coach saying, "Hey, this is where this player's going to be. He's interested in your program. This is why he can help you win." Then they're not going to come. They're not going to show up at all.
Right. And
Because
we've done that.
they're recruiting the portal.
Yeah.
They're recruiting the portal. Why
It's a
wouldn't
lot
you?
easier. It's a lot easier.
Exactly.
You're recruiting the portal. So that's the
Well,
thing. So
definitely-
eventually that's going to change because what about all the small college coaches?
Yeah.
As well. Listen. I've talked to guys that are like, I've seen the small college coaches on my hand this summer. Like, and I'm not talking about regular, I'm not talking about like high end travel baseball,
Yeah.
right? I'm talking about your D2, D3, fringe level D1 guys, JUCO guys, that type of stuff, D2s. Those guys aren't at the places they were.
Right.
I don't
But
think so.
even the high end stuff, like it's just not there.
Because they're at some college summer ball games. Those high end guys are at college summer ball games.
Yeah.
They're in the Cape. They're in the NECBL. They're right. They're watching. They're in the prospect league watching kids that are in the portal.
Yeah.
That's
other than
wild.
Other than your Midwest Prospect League in Indianapolis or your future games, they're just not attending. I mean, and yeah, you can play in the PBRs where they post one of your hits or whatever, or you might top at 81 and they'll post that. But other than that, you're not seeing coaches at places.
No. Well, I think that's a good spot. I mean, to wrap there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, we got a. I think Coach Porter froze there.
Yeah, he's locked out.
He's locked out. He was so passionate about this subject. I think he fried his microphone, maybe. But I think email us. Give us your thoughts on this. We'll post this on X and tell us what you think. HiddenAccountRecruiting.com. We have a questionnaire on there. We have a free evaluation on there. Just fill out your information. We'll get back to you. We're working with a couple people right now on free evaluations, and we'll make that happen for you. And but let us know what you think on this five-year plan, and ask us questions. Doesn't cost to ask us questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will see you next Sunday at the same time, and hope everybody has a good night. Talk to you soon. Thank you.